This is my spoiler-free review of Soundless by Rochelle Mead. This book is about a village on top of a mountain who over the generations have lost their ability to hear, and so they have to communicate via sign language. And slowly through the years people are starting to lose the ability to see as well, and this creates big trouble for the village and their ability to provide food for the rest of the village. And one night one girl is woken by sound, which is not something that she's ever experienced before, and very quickly she realises that her ability to hear has come back, and so she is one of the only people in the village who is going to be able to save them all. This is a book that I've heard quite a lot of hype about as soon as it came out. Lots of people on BookTube were really excited to read it, and then lots of people were very disappointed with it as well, and I have to say that I am one of those people because I really feel like there was so much potential with this book, and I feel like it was really lacking in a lot of areas. I don't feel like I actually really knew who the characters were. I don't feel like I know what they looked like. I didn't feel like there was any kind of development other than the fact that some of the characters were had development forced upon them. I still don't feel like that was a natural development. I found that the romance in this book was really pointless. I don't think it added anything to the story, and I feel like it was just there because there's an expectation for young adult fiction to have romance in it. And it really disappointed me that there was romance. This book would have been fine if the main characters had just been friends. And then towards the end there is the fantasy elements that come into it, and I actually preferred the book before those fantasy elements came in. So there was definitely a kind of supernatural or kind of unexplained element to it, which I was fine with. There didn't need to be mythical creatures involved in order for this to be a good book. The whole book felt very rushed. It felt like an idea had been put down on paper and had been sketched out quite detailed, but then had just been sent off to a publisher and published in that form. I felt like it could have been so much more. There could have been much more depth to it. It could have been a really beautiful book, like one of these books that you just read and close your eyes and you can imagine exactly where you are, and I couldn't do that. It was like village on top of a hill. That's about it. And also, why China? Other than the names, there was no indication that it was in China, and so that was also really disappointing. Again, that could have added to the beauty of the book, would have been the more description of the architecture and things like that. This is actually quite a complicated topic to talk about, not being able to hear and then not being able to see, and then if you were to gain those senses back, how you would experience those things that you had never experienced before. And so I feel like that's a very complicated topic, and so to do what Rochelle Mead did and try and simplify that is very dangerous, because it's not a simple topic and you run the risk of making very silly little mistakes, which just completely breaks the believability of the book. There were definitely elements of the story that I really enjoyed, and I feel like it could have been so much more than it was. In the end I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I think this is possibly because I'm too nice. I think maybe it would deserve maybe more of a 2.5, but I feel like I am rewarding the potential and also the interesting ideas that it brought to me with the discussions on language and sound and things like that. I found that quite interesting. If you would like to see me do all of the booky things that I do in all of the places that I do them, then I will be leaving links to my various other social medias in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!